Joining us now to talk more about that is former Deputy Chief of Staff to President George W. Bush, Fox News contributor Karl Rove. Karl, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Incidentally, before we get into the substance, I was intrigued by the conversation about coffee earlier with the blonde latte and the brunette latte.
Are you a blonde latte or a brunette latte guy?
Well, Nardelli and I would like to order the thinning gray hair latte.
Thank you, Karl. Thank you. It's good to see you again, my friend.
Nardelli tried to get me to go to work for Home Depot. Incidentally, at one time he put me in the vest and had me start working customers in a store outside of Baltimore.
I did, but we got a lot of negative feedback, Karl.
Yeah, exactly. He said the training program would be extended for a long period of time and probably not very constructive for me. So.
Well, you may have missed your calling, Karl. I don't know. Let me ask you about this, though, because the president says he's going to take the heat for a broad immigration deal.
Yeah.
Now, we know what the Ninth Circuit just did, basically saying the DACA program stays in place. Did they just lose their negotiating power for the spending bill and the government shutdown deadline?
Well, I think you're right. It weakened it a little bit. It will be interesting to see if the Justice Department appeals this. Look, the Ninth Circuit is sort of the outlier. My sense is when it comes to immigration law that the courts will back the president on this. We examined this very question. Did the president have the ability to exempt a whole class of people from enforcement of immigration laws? During the Bush administration, we looked at this question. There was not a serious single lawyer who said, yeah, the president can do that. Even President Obama admitted he didn't have the authority to do this. So if this gets appealed, my sense is the district court judge out in San Francisco will not be sustained by higher courts, and there will need to be a fix for this. But you're right. It has weakened it for action on the spending bill, which has to be settled by the 19th of January.
Yeah. Karl, the Wall Street Journal editorial page writes today that despite pushback from some of the biggest mouths on the right, I'm not talking about you, Trump has the credibility with his voters to sell a legalization deal that includes security. Do you think that's true?
Oh, absolutely. Look, he's got great credibility on this. He has to get something for the wall. That's sort of the touch point. He makes a good case that the 654 miles of wall that is now up is in need, in some instances, in need of repair, and that some additional wall is needed. And I would remind you, in 2006, when the wall was authorized by Congress, it passed overwhelmingly House and Senate. And among those voting for it in the Senate were Senator Schumer, Senator Hillary Clinton, Senator Barack Obama, and then Senator Joe Biden. And so what was then acceptable is no longer acceptable. The security experts on the southern border will tell you along that 2,300-mile border, there are parts of that border where a wall is needed in order to effectively gain control of the border. There are other parts where technology or vehicle barriers or monitoring or infrastructure is needed. But absolutely, there are parts of the border that need a wall, and the president is going to continue to push for it. If this was not all tied up in politics and resistance to Donald Trump, I suspect a deal could be easily found.
He seems to realize that. I mean, with the tweet last night, the only one that he sent out was that, hey, listen, I need to get this money in there for the wall. Otherwise, we're not going to do a deal on DACA. He pinned that to the top of his profile this morning. So he wants to make that clear, Karl, I guess, to his base, because he did definitely take, speaking of taking heat, he took it last night. I mean, I mentioned earlier, Ann Coulter
the biggest mouths, I meant Ann Coulter.
Yeah, Ann Coulter was on our network at the top at the 7 o'clock hour with Lou Dobbs. But no, Tucker Carlson on Fox News Channel, the hour. I mean, he listens to these types of things, the president, I would think. So if you're President Trump, or no, actually, let me ask it this way. If you're the Republicans in the Congress, what's more beneficial going into a midterm year, which we're in now? A moderating president who's maybe moving to the quote-unquote middle on some of these issues, or a President Trump that's able to shore up his base and really get them fired up for the midterms?
Well, what matters is something different. A president who's getting things done that cause people to say, you know what, our country's getting better. He's resolving big issues. I may not agree with everything he's doing, but he's moving in the right direction. And that's a little bit different than either of the options you tossed out there. I think he gets there if he gets the DACA issue. He has, right from the beginning, declared that he has an empathy for people who are brought here by their parents and you know, no decision on their part, and now find themselves stuck here in a status that's not very clear. So he's been clear. He's been, you know, comfortable in saying, I want to get this issue resolved he keeps using the word love. As he did yesterday, but his base will support him if they're convinced he's moving in the right direction. And for them, the touchstone is border security and the wall.
Yeah, they want the border security.
Yeah. Hey, Karl, changing gears for a moment. The transcript was released yesterday. What were some of the biggest surprises that you read from that transcript about the FBI or
Fusion GPS?
Fusion GPS, where, people within the campaign, advisors to the campaign. I mean, what was most stunning about that release yesterday?
Well, first of all, that there's some Trump source, somebody close in the Trump orbit, who was talking to the FBI. It was also interesting to me that the British intelligence agent, Mr. Steele, made a decision on his own to go to the FBI with this. That I thought was pretty shocking. But also that there was such a big gap between when this was surfaced to the FBI and when they then later interviewed him in October. Let's step back for a moment, though. Dianne Feinstein, I think, really, she may have done something positive. My state's senior senator, John Cornyn, number 2 in the Republican leadership, was complimentary of her effort. On the other hand, she and Chuck Grassley have had a reasonably cooperative working arrangement that has kept their committee less partisan and less bitter than some of the other committees in the Senate, and she has really done damage to the relationship with her chairman by releasing this.
He's not happy with it. Karl, good to see you. Thanks so much.
You bet.
Karl Rove there.